Have you ever considered the complex ways communities try to manage housing affordability in an ever-changing market? The core components of rent control typically involve three main elements: a ceiling on rent prices, limits on the frequency and amount of rent increases, and protections against eviction without just cause. These measures are designed to provide tenants with stability and prevent excessive rent hikes. These components fundamentally exist to address perceived market failures in housing, where demand outstrips supply, leading to rapidly escalating rents that can displace long-term residents. By imposing price ceilings, the intent is to make housing more accessible and predictable, particularly for lower and middle-income households. The rules surrounding rent increases often tie them to inflation or a fixed percentage, ensuring that landlords cannot arbitrarily raise prices year after year. Just cause eviction provisions add a layer of security, meaning a landlord needs a legitimate, legally defined reason to terminate a tenancy, rather than simply wishing to raise rent at a higher rate. Understanding these components means recognizing how they manifest in various forms. For instance, some jurisdictions implement what is known as hard rent control, which might cap rent increases at a very low fixed percentage or even freeze them for extended periods. Other areas use rent stabilization, which allows for regular, but regulated, increases, often tied to a consumer price index. You might also encounter vacancy control or vacancy decontrol policies. Vacancy control keeps a unit under rent regulation even after a tenant moves out, maintaining the initial capped rent for the next tenant. Vacancy decontrol, conversely, allows the rent to be reset to market rates once a tenant vacates, with controls resuming only for the new tenant. A key detail in many rent control frameworks is the concept of a capital improvement pass-through. This allows landlords to apply for permission to pass on a portion of the cost of significant building upgrades, such as a new roof or plumbing system, to tenants through temporary or permanent rent surcharges. This mechanism aims to balance tenant protection with incentives for landlords to maintain and improve properties. It is a nuanced aspect of rent regulation that acknowledges the ongoing operational costs landlords face. Ultimately, the specific combination and design of these core components shape how effectively rent control can address affordability, prevent displacement, and influence the broader housing market. They representing a policy toolkit that aims to modulate market forces and provide a safety net for renters, fostering a more stable and predictable living environment.
If these stories matter to you, like, subscribe, and be part of the change.